Hey, you! I'm your nutrition coach. My name is Jackie Poole. Welcome to Happiness is a Healthier Habit. Let's get today's episode started. Hello. Welcome back, my friends. So happy to have you here today. Today, I wanted to talk about something that has happened to me this past summer. We are entering into this new season of fall, and I got down to, I believe with my measurements, I got down to like 19% body fat. And I was so excited about that. I was leaning out. My runs were looking great. I was so stoked. And then I moved here to Katy. And all of my routines got a little bit dismantled, right? With everything, with not having school, with kids being home, with finding a new gym, with finding new places to run, with stress about learning about homeschooling, and that was coming soon. And with hubby now changing jobs and talking about our new upcoming journey that we're doing with homeschooling and home investing and real estate, like it's a lot. And I'm going to be talking about something especially that we do in, women, that we are very busy and we're working hard and we're trying to get results and we're not seeing them, right? And you're like, I'm doing everything right. I'm hitting my macros, I'm working out, and something is just not clicking. And this actually happened to me this summer because I'm thinking I'm not tracking diligently. I'm just like, I'm eating my breakfast and I'm having good high protein meals. But the thing that really struck when I started kind of tracking again, like, I wonder what's going on. Like, what is going on with me? Like, I can't seem to drop these 5 pounds that I want to drop. Well, that is snacking. Now, don't get me wrong. Snacks aren't bad. But constant grazing throughout the day can absolutely stall fat loss. So that comes to the reason of hormones, right? And specifically the one hormone that we're going to be talking about, which is insulin. So by the end of this episode, you're going to understand how insulin works, why frequent snacking can keep you in fat storage mode, what meal timing works best for fat loss and hormone balance, and if you do absolutely need to add some snacks, maybe we can throw some good options for you if you need one. So let's get started. One thing that I am doing is cutting back on caffeine this next season. I was depending a lot on my coffees because they would help me go to the bathroom, and then it just didn't work anymore. So I am actually cutting down caffeine by half. And so one thing that I'm replacing it with is with the energized peptides from Make Wellness. It has 100 milligrams of clean caffeine, no jitters. They taste so good. They have a new flavor which you need to try, and it is the perfect pick-me-up if you are just a little tired, didn't sleep well the night before, just need a boost of energy, or a great workout or pre-workout to have. And so, I just want to invite you to try the new flavor. Check it out. The links will be below. Okay, so let's start talking about the basics, how insulin works. So insulin is a hormone. Your body releases it every time you eat, especially when you eat carbs or anything sweet. Those are going to definitely give a high spike of insulin. And its main job is to move the sugar from your bloodstream into your cells to use for energy. Now, if you're not going to use that energy, it's going to store it for later. And so here's the catch. When insulin is high, let's say you ate a donut and a bagel and had your Starbucks coffee for breakfast, your body is going to go into, let's say, storage mode, not fat burning mode, right? So think of it like a light switch. So when insulin is on, you're going to store energy. And when insulin is low, you're going to be burning fat. So remember that. If you're constantly grazing on snacks, like I have this summer, even healthy ones, like my cashews and my almonds and my peanut butter, almond butter berry snacks, insulin can stay elevated mostly all day. And so when that happens, that means that you're rarely going to get into, let's say, a fat burning state. Now, why can snack fire, or why can snacking backfire? If I can say that, that's kind of hard to say. Now, I know this might sound like old advice. You gotta eat every 2 to 3 hours. That's something that I heard quite a bit when I first started my journey, especially because when I first started my health journey, I was doing Zumba, and in the studio they would sell shakes, and they would sell Herbalife. And so Herbalife would be like, I love their teas, by the way. They are amazing. Their shakes are great. But when you go and see how they mentor you, is you have a shake, and then you have a snack a couple later, and then you have a lunch, and then you have another snack, and then you have another shake. And so for me, I really believe that can really backfire, especially because every time you eat, you trigger insulin resistance, right? You release insulin. And so when that happens, if that's happening 6, times a day, or if you're snacking just randomly, like just pop some almonds here and there, if that's happening, then you're never going to break from that storing mode that we talked about, right? Remember, if insulin is on, you're going to be storing energy. And so for us women, this can really be impactful and impact our hormones. The higher the insulin is, we can increase cortisol, which is obviously that stress hormone. And if our cortisol is elevated, it can mess with other hormones like progesterone, estrogen. And so when those two are imbalanced, that combo can really lead to more cravings, more belly fat, maybe even having more lower energy, right? So it's very important to, instead of eating every 2 to 3 hours, you might want to do it every 4 to 5 hours. And that's what I've been doing, especially did for the 5-set mini series. Some days I was better than others, not perfect, but the days that I did, I ate when I was hungry, not when I was bored, because sometimes you got to ask yourself that question: what am I hungry for? Am I really hungry, or I'm just kind of eating because I'm bored, I'm anxious, there's nothing else to do, I'm watching TV, it's late at night, we're watching a movie, we're snacking. It's sometimes the pitfalls of summer, right? Routines can be all over the place, and so that can really backfire when you are trying to figure out, like, hey, I'm doing all the right things and it's not working. Now, the ideal meal frequency, again, I did mention you want to space out every 4 to 5 hours. Instead of grazing throughout the day, you want to aim for 3 to 4 solid meals, a day, and space them apart, right? If you are somebody, the average person weight, or women, 5'4", 5'5", maybe you're on the shorter side, I'm 5'2", and weigh like 130 pounds, you might just want to hit your protein 1 pound per body weight, right? So that means you're also thinking about your protein, and you're dividing your protein in those meals that way. That way, when you do have 3 to 4 solid meals a day, it gives your body time to digest it, absorb the nutrients, let insulin come back down, because when insulin comes back down, it, returns to burning fat. And so when you do that, it's switching into fat burning mode in between meals, right? And so when you eat enough protein, healthy fats, and you're adding fiber to each of your meals, you also feel satisfied, and you won't need to reach for snacks every hour like I was doing for half of the summer, which was crazy. And so you don't need a snack. Now, I'm not saying you can never snack, right? I know life gets crazy, especially when kids are, in sports, after school activities, you're working, you didn't have time to have a lunch, so you're going to have something quick. Sometimes you do need one. Whatever the reason is, you need to make better choices for those snacks, for the reason of not having your insulin keep spiking, right? So the key is to choose snacks that won't spike your blood sugar. This means you want to make sure you're eating protein plus fat combos. Again, like hard-boiled eggs with almonds, instead of just the almonds by themselves. You can do turkey roll-ups with avocado or cheese sticks, yogurt with blueberries, and maybe you can add a little bit of, what are those called? Flax seeds, and, just mix it up where you have a little bit of fat, a little bit of fiber, protein, all that good stuff, and especially fiber. You can always do veggies and fruit, like celery with almond butter, cucumber with hummus. Again, I'm a big fan of cheese sticks and carrots, something crunchy if you're needing something like that. Always have better options than just like that. As well as something that I've been really loving lately is the protein bars from, I believe they're called David. They have a blueberry and a birthday cake flavor, and one bar is really low calorie. It's like 150 calories and it has 28 grams of protein. So that is pretty good when you're really on the go, when you need to take it, and eat it in the car. That is something that I would definitely recommend to have. Or when you're short on time and not having a good lunch, you're gonna have to rush, or won't have time to even heat your meals. Like, that is something that has been working wonders for me, and I want to try the fudge brownie flavor because chocolate is my thing. But those are just a couple of examples of some of the snacks that you should have. So you want to make sure you're combining protein and fat, or that you're combining fiber as well in there with veggies. And again, less wrappers, and that's why I mentioned the protein bar last, because you want to make sure they are coming from whole good foods. But again, life gets busy, and even to hit your protein, sometimes you need to do that. So be it. As long as you're doing that and the snack's satisfying, go for it. And again, here's a little side note. I've been loving my lean peptides with Fit. That's also helping with the cravings and energy. It's not magic right now. The lean and calm, there's a new challenge that we're in at the moment, but also just using the energized for energy, and mixing it with the lean in the mornings. It's not magic, but it definitely helps with the cravings, especially, if we've been used to snacking quite a bit of making it a bad habit and a bad routine. And all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I can't snack. And maybe the thought of it's overwhelming, or you really want something. The lean peptides have been very helpful for that, as far as controlling those cravings, helping eliminate that, and just kind of eliminating that stress, because that can also, be impactful in how you make decision. If you're stressing about snacking, you don't want that, right? Okay, so final takeaways. Here's the bottom line. We are at the end here. So constant snacking keeps insulin high and fat burning low. So very simple. You want to snack less as possible, but also feed yourself. You want to have 3 to 4 balanced meals a day to regulate your hormones. Feed yourself enough, lots of fruits, lots of veggies, lots of meat, lots of proteins. Obviously, if you're vegetarian, make that happen, but you want to make smart choices. Keep track of the foods that you're eating and even of when you're having those cravings, because again, you could be bored, you could be very emotional, you can be, you're about to start your period and maybe you're feeling some type of way. It's good to track those things as well to know why you're gravitating to snack. So always write those things down. Not necessarily you have to track everything you eat, but sometimes emotions can lead us to make certain actions. And so it's very big to create that awareness of why you do certain things for you to have more autonomy and self-control of the choices that you make. And if you need a little bit of boost with that, that's where the lean peptides come in from Make Wellness, which you can always order. The link will be in the show notes. So if you've been stuck in this cycle of cravings or again need some help, I would love to help you out and see how we can work together to figure out how to get you to just stop snacking, to get to where you want to be. If you found this helpful, share it with a friend who's been frustrated with their fat loss, especially this summer, maybe got a little out of control. And if you want to join me in this new challenge, it's Back to You, Lean Out plus Calm Down challenge, which again, this episode is going to air after, but you can still join. So check the link, order your supplements, and let's get started. So I hope you have a great rest of the day, and